me to teach about composting. Composting is a great way to recycle. We recycle 365 days a year, but composting is a great way to do that, and anyone can do it. Basically, composting is taking your scraps that you normally have, mixing them with some of your yard waste, and that breaking down into dirt. So here's some things you need to remember about composting. You take whatever kitchen scraps that are raw. I know this looks really disgusting, but lemon rinds, carrot peels, broccoli bottoms, cabbage, the outer leaves of cabbage, coffee grounds, tea bags, anything that's raw. You cannot put anything baked, and there's no meat and no bones in compost. And then you need a mixture of your carbon, which is your leaves. You need dry leaves, dry grass clippings, and you have to mix that with your nitrogen, which is your compost. And then this is like a half-baked, is what I call it. This has got your mixture of everything once it's already started to break down. This is the compost tumbler that we have. You can use a tumbler, you can use a pile in your yard, but this is what it looks like. I kind of took a little piece of this out of here. Your compost tumbler is great because you just turn that crank once a day and it mixes everything together. You definitely want more carbon than nitrogen. So the nitrogen is going to be, again, those wet materials, and the carbon is going to be more your dry materials. So once you break that down, you've got some amazing microorganisms that are coming in there that are turning these scraps into dirt. And so this is the finished product. So this is wonderful. You can still see some little eggshells in there, and that's totally fine. Those are great for your garden. Those are great for your plants. But this is amazing dirt, and it's free, and it's recycling. It's like the ultimate recycling. So I love composting. Here's some things you need to know. Never add meat or bones to compost. Never add walnut. Did you know that walnut sterilizes the soil? And so if you have walnut trees in your yard and you have walnut balls, you'll notice that grass really doesn't grow a whole lot underneath of that. And it'll do the same thing to your compost. So it'll break down, but then when you put that on your garden, it's going to affect your plants. So if someone's giving you sawdust, which is a great thing to add to your compost, you have to ask them if there's walnut sawdust in there. And if there is, you can't use it because it will not do what you want it to do. The second thing you need to do is for every piece of wet that you put in, the kitchen scraps, the green grass clippings, you have to put in about 4 times that much in the dry grass, in the dry leaves, and put that in there. You can even just do a pile in your yard. Start with the leaves on the bottom, then put your your greens and your scraps next, and then leaves on top, and just kind of mix that in. You don't have to have a fancy tumbler. You can just do this in your yard, and it's not really going to attract critters if it's breaking down well, because you put those dry leaves back on top, and then those microorganisms do their job and they break it down. So I just figured that today, being Earth Day, would be a great day to teach a little mini lesson on composting. Feel free to message me if you have any questions, but it's something that everybody can do. You can do it in your homes, you can do it in an apartment, you can do it any place. It's easier to do if you have a yard because you're going to need some of that dry material. But it's just a great way to recycle and keep things from going into the trash, into the landfills, because all of this would normally just go into a landfill. And now it's not going into a landfill. It's going back into our garden, and it's nourishing the plants that we eat. So thanks so much for watching. Have a great day. Another great thing about composting is we have a big family, and I never fill my trash can out at the street. Between recycling and composting, we just never fill it up. So that's a ton of scraps and junk that's not going in the landfill. It's just going back into the ground as we break it down into dirt. Please be sure to like and subscribe to my channel. It would mean a lot to us. Thanks.